Here's a question for you. You've been doing the work for probably years. Deep work, real transformation with people. The kind you don't shout about, but the kind you feel. And yet when someone asks you what you do, you watch their eyes glaze over halfway through your answer, or they just nod politely. You're not invisible because your work isn't powerful. You're invisible because the world can't place you. They don't know what to call you or how to describe you. And that gap between the depth of what you do and how clearly people can recognize it, that's often what's keeping you the best kept secret if you're some kind of spiritual healer or esoteric metaphysical person. So that's what we're talking about today. Spiritual coaches with deep expertise are usually chronically unrecognized, not because their work lacks power, but because they've not engineered recognition around one unmistakable experience. So in this episode of Chosen, I'm making the case that the route out of invisibility is to have a signature experience that is done so specifically that people can place it, refer you, and seek you out. Now, my point is authority is not discovered, it is engineered. And the entry point is having one clear, repeatable experience, which becomes the front door for everything else. So this is for the spiritual coach who has been practicing for some time, has got a track record of real results with clients, but they find themselves explaining their work constantly and not converting into paying clients. They've tried content, they've tried different offers. The problem isn't effort, it's the absence of a clearly understood signal. So maybe you built a practice, you've probably accumulated lots of certificates, you've maybe got a bit of a social media presence, but it's scattered. And that might be through breath work, somatic practitioners, energy healers, spiritual directors, transformational coaches, work that's experiential rather than just instructional. And if you watch someone with less depth and less experience land a high profile opportunity, it hurts. So let me give an example. Naomi had been a somatic coach for 6 years and her client results were fantastic. People came to her broken and they left rebuilt. She even had a waiting list at one point, driven entirely by word of mouth. But things were starting to slow down. So she started posting on Instagram and LinkedIn. She tried a newsletter. And after a year of consistent content creation, her audience had only slightly grown. She was spending 12 hours a week creating content, but she wasn't getting clients. So she was in this exhausting loop of explaining what somatic coaching was. Then she saw the profile of a coach she'd trained alongside years ago, doing the same stuff, same training, same approach, but they had one program with one name and one outcome. And Naomi realized she didn't have clarity. In 10 seconds, she understood what this other person did, but she wasn't doing that for her own work. If you get exhausted constantly explaining what it is you do, and you're frustrated that you're still invisible, maybe envious of coaches and consultants with shallower work, but better positioning, and the sting of watching someone with less experience get recognized while you remain an invisible genius. And then you start to doubt what you're doing. Trust me, I've been there. So you reinvent the offer every 3 months, or you add more interventions, more therapies, more modalities to the menu, hoping that wider appeal will create more traction, creating content in every format without any clear signal underneath any of it, or undercutting prices. Maybe you think my work is too complex to distill it into one thing, or if I just keep showing up, the right people will eventually find me. I don't like marketing. I want to be known. Well, imagine if you had the relief of being easily categorized, the pride of becoming the name that people reach for, not having to explain yourself on every call. Clients already arrive certain, aligned, sold on your work before the first word is spoken. If you stay in one signature experience, instead of continually shifting at the first sign of slowness, reinventing yourself, speaking about one transformation with consistency and specificity, so it becomes recognizable and attached to you, building referrals around a named, known experience, right? There's that phrase about specific is terrific. The narrower you focus, the deeper the authority. And recognition is engineered, it's not discovered. And if you've got one signature approach that's done consistently, that becomes your visibility tool. You're not being put in a box, you're in a box all of your own, a niche so tight that only you fit it. Spiritual coaches don't tend to self-promote, but without recognizing what you do, transformational practitioners remain chronically underbooked, while coaches with better positioning but shallower work fill their programs and charge higher rates. And it's galling. An underbooked spiritual coach is therefore under financial pressure, which means they undercharge or they take on clients that aren't the right fit. and they dilute the depth of what makes their work powerful. They compromise, they get desperate. And if you're working under financial strain and with wrong fit clients, you don't do your best work. The transformation suffers, the results suffer. Then you start to lose faith in the work that could otherwise define you. Now, why does that matter? Because the people who need this level of transformation are not finding you. The right seekers are landing with the coaches who are visible, but not necessarily the most capable, right? The world has a need for practitioners who can facilitate deep, lasting transformation. The gap is not between the work and the world. It's between the work and its recognition in the world. And I'm urging you to close that gap. So it's time to stop waiting for the right people to find you and start engineering the conditions that make you inevitably found. You've already done the hard work. This is the part that makes it visible. You don't want to be an invisible genius, right? You've got to stick your head above the parapet. So having one offer, one clear, repeatable transformation is better than having shifting, hard to summarize things. Vague positioning that hopefully appeals to anyone doesn't work. It needs to be specifically for one type of individual. That makes you easy to refer. It makes you memorable. Content that you have to explain every time, as opposed to content that people can instantly grasp. That compounds over time. And clients arrive already aligned, already certain. You can summarize it in the acronym SPELL: signature, positioning, elevation, legacy, leverage. SPLL. I couldn't resist. So niche authority compounds faster than broad visibility. A practitioner known for one specific transformation in one specific audience gets more referrals, more case studies, and more recognition than a generalist. And if you have your own proprietary framework, your own signature method, that creates intellectual property that makes you unique and separates you from being a commodity. A named methodology cannot be directly compared to a competitor's unnamed generic service. And word of mouth is the dominant route for spiritual and transformational coaches. A client who can't articulate what you do can't refer you. And as seen in is different from as known for. Media appearances build visibility. I talked about that last week. But a signature experience builds recognition. And recognition is what generates referrals. And visibility without recognition creates followers, but not clients. Followers for vanity, paying clients for sanity. You want clients who arrive from a named referral to a known experience. And that will convert at a much higher rate than cold prospects because the trust is already there. And there's a compound snowball effect of staying with one signature experience that means that every client, every testimonial, every referral deepens the same reputation than fragmented attention across different identities. Like the magician doesn't run 10 tricks at once. They master one and then they build the show around it. The scattered practitioner is juggling 10 plates. The practitioner with a signature trick has mastered the one spell that the audience can't forget. Most coaches are withdrawing from the account every 3 months to start a new one. The practitioner who stays with one signature experience is leaving the money in the account. And every client, every referral, and every testimonial adds to that bank balance. The interest accumulates, the authority compounds. The reinventor never gets there because they have to keep resetting the clock. Everybody knows the feeling of understanding somebody's work in one sentence and immediately knowing whether it's for them or not. And I want you to be that person, the one whose work lands in a single sentence for the right audience every single time. So number one, ask yourself, what is the one transformation that when someone experiences it, they never forget you? Not the one that you think you should offer, not the one that feels safest, but the one that is most unmistakably yours, right? Write it down in one sentence. What's the one thing you do for people? Now, step two, give that a name so the right person instantly recognizes it and can repeat it and share it to somebody else. A specific evocative name that carries the transformation in it. The name is the referral mechanism, right? Give it your own signature title, the something method or somethingology. Step three, do not reinvent, right? The compound effect is not visible in the first month. Don't abandon your signature experience before it reaches the recognition it deserves. Stay with it, refine it, deepen it. Step four, once that signature title is established as a front door, build on the back end. Maybe write a book about it. Maybe create a group coaching program. Maybe start doing retreats, seminars, high ticket retreats. All of it goes from the same root, multiple rivers feeding your lake. And step five, document the transformation. Collect the language that your clients use to describe what they've just been through and use their words, not yours. The testimony is the recognition language. Every person who leaves your work with language for what they experienced is a potential introducer. So your homework is to write the one sentence version of your signature experience. I help specific person achieve specific result through specific method. One sentence. Now you might say, well, my work can't be reduced to one thing. Yeah, it can. The resistance to being specific is a fear of exclusion. You're worried that other people might walk past. It actually works the other way around, right? What if I choose the wrong thing to be known for? You'll refine it. You'll evolve it. No signature experience is perfect when you launch it. The practitioners who build recognition choose one thing and they commit to it and they throw it out and they tweak it and they watch what lands and they tweak it again. Okay? Paralysis is the only wrong choice here. What if being specific means I miss opportunities? The opportunities you miss by being specific are the wrong opportunities. The ones you gain, the referrals, the aligned clients, the premium rates are the ones that you're looking for. You imagine yourself 12 months from now. You don't have to explain yourself on every call. People are already arrive knowing what you do. They've heard about you from someone else whose word they trust, and your content deepens your reputation. The practitioner who builds recognition around a signature experience often discovers that the work they were most reluctant to commit to publicly because it felt too specific or too niche is the work that generates the strongest referrals. The thing that felt like a limit actually becomes an advantage. So Naomi spent a weekend with one question. What's the one transformation I deliver that nobody else delivers in quite the same way? The most specific version of her work, the one that she could describe in a single sentence that the right person would hear or read and feel. She named it. She rewrote her web page around it. She got rid of 4 of her 5 offers and pointed everything towards one. And she posted about it for 6 weeks on social media without changing it, without softening it and making it palatable or broadly appealing. Big mistake. Week 7, a message arrives from someone she'd never ever met. I've been recommended to you 3 times in the last month by 3 different people. I don't need any more convincing. Can we talk? That's what happens when you engineer the spell instead of scattering them. You don't become known by doing more or learning more. You become known by doing one thing so clearly and so consistently that it sticks. Now, this is the stuff that I teach in my Unforgettable program. It's a self-study online training. You get a 7-day free trial, and I show you how to take your lived experience, your qualifications, and package it into a signature approach, and then spin it into multiple streams of income. There'll be a link under this video somewhere to grab that. If this landed, share it with a practitioner who's doing deep work and not getting the clients that they deserve. If you don't change the approach, you'll keep on explaining and saying the same thing over and over again. You'll keep creating content that will attract attention, but not clients. You'll keep watching other coaches who've got clearer positioning fill their programs where you don't. And you'll keep reinventing every 3 months. When you do change this, you engineer recognition. You name the magic. You stay with it long enough for it to compound. And eventually someone will reach out to you, having been referred 3 times by 3 different people who all use the same words to describe you. And that's when you know that it's working. As I said, my Unforgettable course shows you how to do this, and you get 7 days free. So I'm here to help spiritual coaches and transformational practitioners achieve consistent recognition and a fully booked practice in the next 90 days, while reducing the exhaustion of constant explanation, scattered offers, so that you have a reputation that precedes you and clients who arrive certain. If you want to learn how to do that, the link will be below this video. 7 days free. Start with the signature solution builder, and you'll have your spell named by day 2. So this is Jonathan Clark. This is episode 4 of Chosen. Thank you for watching. Do your homework, and I'll hopefully see you here, same time, same place next week. Take it easy, but take it.